Hello and welcome, it is I, Patchworth, your game clown, once again, and we are going to be continuing our tutorial with our good friend Voltar. Voltar the Omniscient. As I mentioned, he is one of the only characters, if not the only character, to be a main healer. There are a couple of other characters like Yuri and Genji that do heal, a couple of other characters, but his primary function is as a healer. If done well, you can do some serious damage with Voltar as well, but a lot of the stuff that I used to be doing when it was just Raylan and Skulder had just dropped. A lot of things have changed since I've started this, so I will mention one of the things that changed a while back was instead of the steady stream of healing like you've seen him do in one of my other episodes, he had to do a sort of charge thing, and then when you release the button, it would heal. And they actually changed that back to a more steady stream. Voltar is one of the only characters, along with Froggy and Leon, who are still arguably overpowered. And I would love to show you some of the tricks that I've learned with him over the years, because he is a great character to play. And so we've already shown you his skins. I have all of them. The Voltar Necromancer skin you can only get if you also own Swords and Soldiers, another Ramino game, which I obviously do. And the Disco skin, I mean, come on, man. It's a disco skin. It's freaking amazing. It has its own song whenever you play whenever you drop the medical tank. It's amazing. And he shoots musical instruments. In fact, we're going to use him again because I love the hell out of this skin. So, we've actually shown him in action before, but I'm going to go into some more detail with him. Loadout on the bottom here, mostly the same, but you will notice that we have the Solar Crab Burger. Now, the solar coins will heal you. This is actually very important. Voltar is actually quite squishy. He is very little offensive abilities, and he doesn't take damage very well. So what you can do is you can actually use the Solar Crab Burger, so if you gather coins, it'll heal you up. But there's another attack that I'll show you that works really well with that, and it's the one that I always use no matter what other loadout I'm using. I always use this. And that is with his attack. And I say attack, but it isn't really. This has also changed a little bit since I've played this originally. But essentially, he shoots out this beam that will heal droids and other players. Along with that, you've got the Happy Thoughts, which increases healing power of Healing Wave, basically heals more. The Psychokinetic Repulsion. Now, Knockback is something we haven't dealt with a lot right now either. Knockback, in fact, we'll just show that off so you can sort of get an idea of what that is. I don't use it very often. I prefer to have my enemies close so I can murder them better, but this isn't really about winning. It's more about just showing you how everything works. Psycho Thrust increases your healing range, and Dreams of Greed. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are playing a Voltar, I cannot recommend Dreams of Greed strongly enough. There's two reasons why. When you heal somebody, you increase the amount of coins that you get. I believe what they've done now is you get coins for healing people anyway, but it increases that. You get like more solar for that. In fact, now that I'm thinking about this looks like it's kind of new. When I was first playing as him, you only got the solar for healing people if you had this attack. But it looks like you're getting healing amount anyway, or healing solar anyway. I I don't know. I've played this game so long, it's kind of all lost meaning to me. So, but anyway, you increase the number of coins you get with Dreams of Greed. Now, like I said, that works really well with this because when you heal, you'll get that solar back, which means you can buy more upgrades, but it'll also heal you. So, in healing other people, you also heal yourself. Now, when I say teamwork is important in this game, Voltar is the quintessential reason for that. If you have a Voltar on your team, you stick to him like glue, my friend, because he will keep your ass alive. And if you give him enough chance to build up his character, because Voltar very much is a late game character, but if you're running away and letting him get killed, you are doing nothing but hurting your team. Don't do it. Voltar needs you, and you need Voltar. It is a symbiotic relationship. Twisted Nightmares. Adds damage to Healing Wave. That's actually kind of new. I believe that used to cause a... What was it? I believe it used to cause heal over time? And then we have Euphoric Thoughts, which increases your max healing power of your Healing Wave. So if you've got this, you can actually increase minimum damage, maximum damage. It looks like they still have a bit of the charge ability, but droid damage -1. Interesting. That's new. You might want to add that if you do a Battle Voltar loadout, which I'll show you a little bit about how to do in a moment. Now, your scroll wheel attack is actually an energy tank, which a healing tank will drop, and it will cause an aura of healing energy around you. It will heal both yourself, droids, and your teammates. If you got the energy drink, it increases the health and longevity of Healthbot, which means it can be harder to kill. Yes, you can kill the healing tank, which means it will end the effect early. So avoid that. You have the Overheal Potion, which increases the healing power, so it heals more. You've got the Turret add-on, which enables your Healbot to shoot at nearby enemies, essentially causing damage to enemies inside of the tank. I don't know if it's an aura anymore, or if it actually shoots. We'll have to examine that a little bit better. And reduces the... that actually reduces the cooldown of the Healbot, so why not? We're in a tutorial, we want to see this as much as possible. Now, the Cortex tank will knock away enemies. Since we're going to be doing the knockaway with this, that's a good way to do that. Don't use the Cortex tank if you're also going to go with the turret add-on, because you can't damage people inside the aura if you've got the Healbot knocking them away from you. If you want to keep people away from your Healbot, then that's a good way to do it. That will probably keep your bots away. Like if you're up against a turret and you've got some people coming after you and you want to get nice and close with your droids and your Awesomenauts and just do as much damage as possible, that's a good one to have. It should keep people away from your teammates long enough to do some damage, as long as they don't take out the heal tank in the interim. And the heal pack surprise will actually drop one of those little heal packs after it expires. I don't remember if it actually does that when you kill it, but if it just goes through its time, it pops up a little heal tank. I always use that when I have it. Now, your attack, and I use this term loosely, is actually Drone Army. The Drone Army are 3 to start drones, which essentially hover around you in a random pattern. And when you press the right key, the right mouse button, it'll shoot them out at your opponents. Now, what it used to do is they would randomly wander around, and then they would just go like, whoa, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to shoot over here and over here. had no way to aim for it, so it was essentially random as to whether or not you hit something. I'm not sure why they changed it, but I'll show you the new effect when we get to it. Since we're going to be doing that, I'll show you this. The drone army increases the number of drones you can create. You've got your dark matter shots, which makes drones blind enemies. And we haven't really dealt much with blind, but I'm going to show you that. The weapon clip-on increases the damage of your drone's shots. The hyperdrive increases the attack damage of drones, the attack speed of drones. The weaponized hull improves drone explosion upon destruction. And the warp gate overdrive reduces cooldown time on drone gateway. Now that one's interesting, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But let's get in. I'm going to use this loadout right now just to show you how everything works. Okay, and down we go. Where are we? We are in, I believe, Ribbit 4. Yes, we're in Ribbit 4. Okay, Voltar, our friend Voltar. Now you see those little swirly things? And now he's got like this little thing here. I believe if you've got that charge and then you shoot it, it does more Healy attack. Or you can just sort of like spam it like I used to do. And it may not do quite as much healing. We'll have to test that out. Bloop. Okay. But for now, we're going to get our guys. Now, we've already seen how most of this works. If you've watched any of my playthroughs anyway. So we've got our little drones, which are hovering around our head in a rather fancy disco way. Do 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 do. Now, like I said, when I was first playing as Voltar, when you hit the right mouse button, they would go scattering all over the place. But what they've actually done now is wherever your cursor is aimed, you shoot them and they fire out in a little pattern like that. I don't know. See that? When that right there, watch that. Okay, bloop. That's the warp gate. So that cools down your warp gate. It used to be that when you shot your guys out, you would be essentially helpless for a while. But it looks like one of them pops right back up, and then the rest of them sort of pop out after that. That means that if you've got the cooldown of the warp gate, those guys will appear a little bit faster. So you'll be armed faster than you were before, and that's good. Now, he has a special type of jump. He jumps pretty high, and then boo, if you hold down the up button, he just sort of gently hovers until he drops down permanently. I did not actually let go of the button. He just has like a little bit of a mini hover and then drops. Okay. Okay. Now, that is the heal tank. Uh-oh. Whoosh! Bonk! Get away from my people. Alright. So, now, we're going to follow these droids here, and as you can see, they're going to start accruing damage here, and then you can actually heal them up to sort of reduce the amount of damage they've got. There used to be a technique, I don't know how common it is anymore, that you get a whole bunch of those droids all in a line, and you just sort of follow behind them, dropping your tank whenever you can, and just more of them sort of show up behind it. And if you've got your teammates behind you, they just sort of created this ultimate string of people behind it. They used to call it the Voltar train. Blah! And I just don't know how efficient that old technique is anymore. It's been a while since I've done this, so hold on. Hey guys, come here. Okay, so that heals for 25 if you've got the bloof. So no, that's 12, and then it's healing for, what is that? +2. So if you charge up bloof, that's 10. Alright, so it is definitely the charge will do more if you don't heal all the time. So the longer you leave it off, the more you actually heal up. So spamming the click button, now that I'm noticing this, is not necessarily in your favor when it comes to healing up your teammates. So you don't necessarily have to do it. Now, I am currently not holding the button. I'm not even holding the mouse. Now watch the drone, the little suicide drones. See, they actually shoot on their own whenever there is an enemy close enough to damage them. So you are not defenseless. Again, not exactly a melee character. Good criminy, they are just dominating already. We might actually win this, and I don't want to do that. You can increase the amount of drones you've got, and you can create the blind. Let's see. Oh, okay, well, we're going to do some knockback here. I'm going to actually have to increase the damage of these guys. Alright, now, knockback. Bloof! See? Bloof! Oh. It looks like the knockback doesn't actually have a all-the-time sort of effect. It's more of a, periodic thing. Let's see. Boof! And that can knock guys out of the way. Now, I've actually also got the damage on there. Oh boy. We might actually have to get out of this one, and because oh wow, we are. Let me just get out of this, and we're gonna increase the damage on these guys just a tiny bit, because we just destroyed that. So since we showed knockback, this is actually a decent time to show you one of the other loadouts, which is the... Well, actually I can't. So... how do I do this? Yeah, we'll just go with this. And... let's help in options, settings... Oh, mouse sensitivity, settings, controls, nope. Can we increase the, well, that's fine. Let's just get back into it, and I was trying to increase the intelligence of the droids so that we're not just mowing through them, but nothing doing just yet. So back into it. Hopefully we can show you a little bit of things here. I'm going to go right into... Uh-oh. Ugh. This is not going as well as I had hoped. But it just goes to show you how powerful Voltar actually is. He can just... In a large group, there's not a lot that can keep him down for long. Okay, so... Uh-oh. So, yeah, you definitely want to heal up your guys as quickly as possible. Woof. That is really interesting. I only am now just noticing that you can heal your characters up. Maybe I am terrible at this game. My experience is all for naught. So, blunk. Alright, so short of actually showing you the different types of attacks, which I could do, I guess I should just go into a little bit more detail about the two types of loadouts that I've used in the past. We're going to use this to increase our solar bounty. There's two major ways to play as Voltar. You can either do a straight healer who... oh, wait a minute. Does that only increase it by one, or how does that even work? Ugh. Wow! I should not have been able to do that. Voltar, wow. Voltar really can do some serious damage if you allow him to. He, so like I said, straight healer, just team up with your team and just try to keep them alive for as long as possible. Stick next to large groups of either bots or, Awesomenauts. Hide behind large tanks like Durple, Skulder, and Clunk. And, occasionally drop your... occasionally drop your health tank whenever possible, especially if you're in the middle of an assault. So Healy, Voltar, pretty handy, but he does require people. Now, if you're going to be doing something that I like to call Battle Voltar, the way you want to do that is to cause as much damage as possible. You can cause some serious harm to people if you've got specific set of loadouts. There are the damage one, the speed one, and the increase the amount of droids that you have. If you combine that with the turret add-on to cause damage while you're healing large areas, and with the additional one where you do damage with your heal attack, then you can cause some real damage. And there you go. I've actually got the other guy. Now, the one thing to remind you about is you don't need to attack. I do tend to, like I said, twitch game just a tiny bit, but you don't need to, do anything to attack. You can concentrate on the healing, and your droids will eventually circle around and do enough damage to harm people. The thing to remember is try to still stick with people, because Voltar is definitely a character that works well with other meat shields around. But you do not have to spam, and you don't have to solo. Never just go around by yourself with Voltar. I would recommend. Always try to have either like a large train of droids, or to have other teammates surrounding you in order to cause the most amount of damage and or healing ability. I'm going to show you this real quick, and there's a couple of different levels of that. And the blind, which, I will actually show you that as well. The blind has an icon above it to show whether you're using it or not. And that is the little eyeball that you see there. It will make it, the screen sort of jank out a little bit, and it makes it harder for you to see things. The other thing to remember is, let's see if we've got like a little group of people down here. Okay, now the turret has that little when it's in this healing mode. That is when it has the damage on it. Which means if you don't see that, then you're not actually causing damage. It is definitely an aura. There's not really a lot going on with that, and it's causing damage while your turrets are shooting at them, and then you can finish them off with that. So combine it with the speed, the damage, multiple the 4 orbs, and 4 is the max you can have. Yeah, he can cause and wreck some serious crap. I'm telling you. Do not underestimate Voltar. People used to underestimate him all the time. I always told people not to. And while he has been one of the characters that has changed the most over time, at the heart of him, he is still one of the, I would say, one of the strongest, and frankly, I find one of the most fun characters to play. If you're doing like I am, and you're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're trying to prestige up, the best thing for you is to put on this Dreams of Greed and just heal as many people as you can with him. Stick with it, and you can increase your level, and that your level increase will further cause you to unlock more things on your loadout bar. It is probably one of the easiest ways to farm solar in the game. So I definitely recommend, do not underestimate him. You know, if you want a non-stressful game, he's one of the better characters to play because you're not really doing much. You're just sort of bloof, bloof. And then you get to play some disco music, and hey, it is a fun time had by all. Can't recommend him highly enough. One of my favorite characters, one of my long-time favorites. And that is about all I can really tell you about this guy. He's one of the more, one of the characters I can tell you the most about, honestly. But of course, there's other loadouts available on the Awesomenauts website, which is in the description below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to subscribe, like, and submit any comments. I'll be happy to address them. And until next time, guys, cheers all.